Yes, we're pretty sharp. Tally, oh my god, stop the live.
Hi everybody, I'm Kitt Nyang'aya. Welcome back to another video. So today we are doing an Instagram live with Ivy, Murugi and Esmeralda. And we have been catered to by Spez. So I'm going to leave all the links down below, but we talk about womanhood. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Let's get into it.
You are my baby, don't want it only. Je suis à toi, et tu es à moi.
Hi guys.
Just say hi and tell people.
Hello. Thank you for joining. So I'd like the ladies to introduce themselves. They're my womanhood journey actually. Introduce yourselves with, of course, who you are and what womanhood means to you.
Wait, okay. Am I fast?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Gives you time to Okay, I'm Kitt Nyang'aya, and womanhood to me means strength and purpose.
I love it. Okay. Ivy.
Hi, I'm Ivy, just Ivy. Womanhood to me means looking good, cool, calm under the crap that the fire that is brewing. Like that, because there's always a fire somewhere. So I think for me that really is the essence of womanhood.
I love it. Murugi.
I introduce again.
Which womanhood
Oh,
means
okay,
to
fine.
you?
Yes,
Come on,
okay,
guys.
guys. In case you're new here, I'm Murugi Muni. Thank you for being here. I am also a mother of three little humans. Guys, there's so many, even forget. 3 little humans. I'm married and I'm happy. To me, womanhood means just something that I was born with. I'm a woman because I was born a woman. That's what womanhood is to me.
Thank you, ladies. So you guys sent in a bunch of questions, and I noted them, many of them down. As you can see, if time allows, we shall ask all of them. But we'll just go it step by step. And one of the questions was, how do you navigate womanhood for a young woman who's starting out in their 20s? How did you guys navigate womanhood? I know it's a journey. It is. You described what it is to each of you.
Yeah.
How do you navigate it?
Okay, and also, by the way, Esme, you forgot to say that we're at my house.
Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry.
The catering, the food here, and the food that we're going to eat is by Spez.
Yes.
So I am telling you,
Thank
as you sit there with your teeth hanging out.
Handmade fruit.
This is womanhood.
Handmade fruit.
Handmade fruit. What's a cushion? By
You know, cushion.
My leg is my
Your leg is your cushion. Yeah. So navigating womanhood. I don't know if I have to navigate because I am a woman and I don't have to do anything. I just am. What I have found is more often than not, I have to be stronger than I want to be because I'm already, as soon as I walk into a room, I'm already at a disadvantage many times. So I try to, I compensate before being put down. You get, so you could say I have a chip on my shoulder, black woman, young. Okay, I'm 35, so I'm middle-aged.
No, I'm
Not yet middle.
Yeah,
no,
no,
we're not.
I'm more of the youth. I'm right young age of 31.
Okay.
I'm basically
Four.
You're basically
I'm a teenager. I'm a teenager.
You're basically.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just feel often I have to put on more than I need to.
I'm not
For me, I don't know. I think navigating womanhood in my 20s made me realize I need to take care of my health better as a woman. That's when I was starting to be told check for lumps. That's when I learned about pap smear, yeast infections. I know we have a very beautiful table here, but when you start becoming sexually active and then you so me, my 20s, what was I saying?
Yeast infection.
Back to yeast infections. And you know, you might think it's very, touch and you go to a hospital, you get some medicine, it's done. But my friend, we don't talk about recurring yeast infections. It's something that you deal with a lot in your 20s.
Yeah.
Understanding your pH, that your vag is acidic, I don't know what. That's what, for me, womanhood in my 20s really was about. Understanding my health, even finding my orgasm.
Yeah.
Things like that. My sexual, reproductive, whatever. In my 20s, I think is when I really peaked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, before 20s, it's like, are you really a woman? I mean, you are, but like, you don't really know yourself. Really,
You're a little woman.
A little woman. Yeah. At least
Some of
some
us became mothers at 19. So
Yeah.
we don't know.
But even then, even though I was a mother at 19, I still feel
There's
like
a lot
don't-
of parts.
Exactly. I feel like you really come into your womanhood in your 20s. And even actually in different ways in your 20s, in different ways in your 30s as well. Because there's an aspect of womanhood I feel like I unlocked when I turned 30. Like now the aspects of friendships and like feeling confident and feeling like, just like really feeling like I know who I am and like the world can't tell me who I am, you know, kind of thing.
Actually, you've led us into the next question, which is your experience being a single mom. How was that? Like, I'm sure there are a number of single moms watching. How would you define that season in your life?
That's a very broad question. I could speak for, that's like a whole life on its own. That's a whole life on its own, honestly. But I would say, just like with all other seasons, it had its ups, it had its downs. Some parts were difficult, some parts were magical. There are some parts about it that even now I miss. There are some parts about it that I'm like, I thank God I will never ever have to be there again. Yeah, by the way, like the aspects of like, you have your own space. You know, parenting with someone is a constant compromise. Like me, I honestly think you should give a calpol. No, I don't think you should give a calpol. Everything is like,
I'm giving out calpol. I know everything.
Actually, when Mukeni was born, we used to have so many fights because I would always tell him, but you know me, I've been a parent for
Exactly.
And I think he had to learn that I was pushing him away.
Can you
Not
stand
that I was doing anything because he's like, okay, since you know everything, then you just
Okay, then go ahead.
So these days, even when he says give the child calpol, I'm like, she has a cut on her leg, but like give it. Give the child. The child is resilient, and eventually he has to walk his own journey to arrive at that place. So yeah, single motherhood was difficult, but also it had its joys. It also had its joys. So I mean, what I would tell somebody who's a single mom right now is, find the joy in your season, because the rest is that you're already there. You're already there. Nothing that you can do about it. Find the joy in that season, because seasons pass. So when your child will grow up, or you might get married, or you might be somewhere else, and you're like, "Better, it wasn't so bad where I was."
Right.
You know? And so obviously, when you're in a season, it's hard to see it that way.
Yeah.
You're just like, "This is the worst. This is the worst."
I'm in the ghetto.
But trust me, there are also other bad ghettos out here, please. There are other bad ones. So yeah, just hang in there.
I think for me, it was one thing I would recommend and really suggest is you build your little village, because you need that village. Shout out to Angira dear, if you're watching, you're my babysitter. Angira dear, yes. My babysitter.
For real.
Yeah, Faith as well. I mean, you need to have people around you who you can rely on. I mean, I was very privileged, and I say that in the full meaning of the word, to have my parents with me.
Yeah.
Because of course then Miguel had a father figure and my dad. Yeah. And we had that support. But really you need a community around you. So invest in that, and please, those who are watching, support single moms. We need to have our own time once in a while. We need a babysitter most of the time so that we don't forget ourselves. So create that little network, that little village, because that's what you need.
And it's from that struggle that you actually came up with Spez, right?
Of course.
That is
how Spez was built. And we turned 13. Woo! Okay, kids. This question I think only you can answer. I think is the only firstborn.
Oh my God.
So what pressures are there of being the firstborn girl in a family? What do you experience? Please keep it to all of only 1 minute, because I know you can go on and
Fine.
Wow. Shall we just know all this is directed to you?
Thank you so much, Esme, for asking me that question, and also for giving me my time limit. The audacity. It's actually so exhausting, because I'm mothering, but I'm a kid. And then you're looking up to me like I know stuff. Granted, yes, I know, but it's the pressure of needing to know. Like sometimes my sisters will ask me, and one of my sisters is here, so I'm just like side eye. But sometimes my sisters will ask me a question and I say I don't know, and then they look at me like,
How?
you know, there's a glitch in the matrix. I don't know.
How dare you? No.
Yeah, how dare? So if you don't know, who knows? Kid, can you go and ask dad such and such? But and your mouth, what has happened to your mouth?
Wow. And this is
Kid, literally as 35 years old, we are planning something. We are planning something, a family thing. Everybody is like, Kid, you do ABCD. You tell the folks. I'm just like.
Okay, so if you're giving advice to the other ones, and we had this discussion on my IG live, on my Instagram stories, what advice? 3 top tips for other ones.
I only have one.
What do you want?
Stand down.
Oh wow.
Mind your own business. Honestly, like we have enough on our plate.
I have a thought.
Do it yourself.
I have a thought about that. I feel like my elder sister always complains about all the responsibilities of being a firstborn, but
They like
loves
it secretly.
Let me tell you, it's not secret. Let me tell you, it doesn't matter where you are in life, you love responsibility. It doesn't matter. It's not a firstborn thing. It's not a male thing. It's not a female thing. It's if you have the responsibility, people looking up to you, you do love it. Are you tired? Yes. Could you do without it? Yes, absolutely.
You could do without it.
I could. I really could. Please believe me when I say stop mansplaining me. Please. Can I please feel
I'm a woman.
Yes. Stop mansplaining me. I'm really telling you, I'm done with it. Please leave me alone. Please.
You know what though?
Kit, is it the other bonds, or do you think also parents play a role in putting more pressure
On you.
or
Yeah.
you? Like be a
Yeah.
good example.
Be number one because you're
Yeah.
number one.
It's not us.
For example,
parents.
if
Yeah.
going to play outside, go play with your sister. Even though you do not want to play that game, even though you do not care
That's
for
right,
her
that's
friend,
right.
and if
Yeah.
your sister gets hurt,
It's
you're
you.
not having problems.
By the way,
And I think about that a lot
Yeah.
with Kendi. And sometimes I find like even the people around me will give less responsibility to Keyo. And I have to keep like especially my husband, I have to keep reminding him, you know, when Kendi was that age, she was doing ABCD. You send him, you tell him, you do ABCD, let Keyo do it. Let Keyo do. So I'm very conscious of that as from a parent's point of view. So I see what you're saying with like, yeah, be a good example.
actually, yeah.
So, but there's a way that I can be better now as a parent, you see? Yeah. Because my parents were like, I mean, me and my sister are kind of twins because it's only 1 year.
Yeah.
But I still felt that.
As a twin mom, there's no such thing.
Okay.
It's not the same.
I am
It's not the
sorry
same.
for mansplaining.
It's not the same. But cool.
I'm actually
You
always
know.
referring to Ethan as our deputy parent. We're always saying he's our deputy parent.
Imagine that
There's an extra pressure that you're putting
Now
on
imagine.
Ethan that maybe he can't explain to you.
Okay,
Because I know
next
my
question
sister
is,
knows.
Can you
Yeah.
believe it?
can you advise, just one thing you would advise young women on marriage and children, what they should know before? Because that's a stage of womanhood, right? Whether it's, What was the one thing you would advise?
Gosh, one thing.
Okay, two
Can I
top
advise
things.
you?
I only have one thing actually.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Kitty,
Go ahead.
I have one thing.
Go ahead.
It's not for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Say it again, sis, for the people at the back.
People are in the back.
People in the back, I'm a stemmer.
Marriage is not for everyone. Children are not for everyone.
When you say marriage isn't for everyone, is it someone looking at their personality? Is it someone looking at their goals? How do I know, as I feel, marriage is for me or marriage is not for me? Wow. What did you say?
Maybe I would say at the very basic, it has to be something you actually want.
Wow.
Like for me, I feel like when somebody is always saying, you know, I don't want to get married. Oh yeah, you're just saying that because you haven't met someone. Oh, you're just saying that because it has to be something you actually want.
Right.
Because marriage takes sacrifice. It takes compromise. Imagine every single day you're coming home and there's a man in your bed. Every day. every day that way. You know when you're single, you know when you're single, you can just have a bad day, you come home, you just want to be alone, you just want to have your tea, watch your series, you just relax and whatever, but you can't.
Yeah.
There's someone there, you must talk to them, you must commune with them, you must also wash your kids, you must also put them to sleep, you must prep what. So at the very least, it has to be something that you want.
Okay.
Me, the one piece of advice I would tell people is that don't expect to find yourself in marriage or find yourself when you now become a mother. You need to have yourself.
Have yourself.
You need to have yourself and whole before you can do those things. Because parenting, I won't say it takes from you, but every marriage and parenting, they require parts of you that you have to give away to other people, and you have to be whole to be able to survive giving that much of yourself to other people.
Yeah.
So it's important. You need to know yourself.
Yeah. In fact, my friend Shiko always says, your marriage, the foundation of your marriage needs to be strong enough that when children come to shake things up, because they will shake things up, that it's okay, you can survive it. And people listening.
And to think that the 2 times I had my girls, I was like, let's have a baby so we can fix our relationship.
Oh! Relatable.
Yeah.
So good to see.
I know. Both times, I wouldn't say it fixed our relationship. In that period, it made it a lot harder. It's only as the children grow that actually things become better.
Children are not a last of last for your relationship.
That used to be on a t-shirt. Children are not a last of last for your broken relationship.
I think for me, the one piece of advice I would give is do legitimate premarital counseling. Legitimate.
Like in a counseling facility.
Yes, I think that goes a really long way, because you both have to examine your past, because that comes into play in ridiculous ways in your future. How you were brought up, what you saw as a child comes into play. So you have to have legitimate premarital counseling. I realized that along the way, because for our premarital counseling, I'm a Catholic, and I feel like it's a bit of a con. I'm sorry.
I find it's very surface.
Yes, it doesn't.
Like we don't really rock the boat.
And if there's anyone who's watching who is in the industry, so to say, of counseling and therapy, I think you need to plug yourselves into the Catholic Church. I don't know about the other churches, but I can speak from that perspective, because there's a lot they don't dive deep into in the Catholic Church with regards to premarital counseling. So please do legitimate premarital counseling, and I'm talking therapists.
Yes,
like real therapists who will understand.
Your pastor is okay.
Yeah.
Nobody has a problem with your pastor. But
I remember one of the things we had to do in our premarital counseling class is you have to write on a piece of paper all the people you've ever been with sexually. You had to write them all down, name by name by name by name, and then you give it to your partner. And then you say,
I don't recommend.
Then you hold hands like this, and then you say a prayer, and then you both put those papers in a bin and you burn it with a fire. You have both.
This is why I say legitimate. Legitimate.
This is the chat.
That's literally, if ever there was one.
I know. Sorry, pause this moment. We need to start eating.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe I've been waiting.
I'm waiting for this food.
Hi guys. Hi. First, the items you have is chicken coronation in ciabatta bread. The next one is beef ham sandwich in a multigrain.
Thank you.
And the vegetable one is a cucumber yogurt.
Please come back here.
Come
to
back.
The rest of us.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, so as we do outside catering, by the way, at Spez Catering. We do it for all events, corporate events, private events. You don't have to just shamelessly throw in this plug.
It's not shameless. It's not shameless.
It is for you, for us to have this conversation and for you to plug.
After this, I'm a Spez ambassador.
Yes, thank you.
Tell me something you own but you will never use. My uterus. I'm like, wait, go you? Yeah. I'm like, go you. That is part of being a woman, deciding what to do with your body the way you want to. And I like that this generation is breaking toxic curses. It's toxic parent raising toxic children. Toxic children become parents, raise toxic children. There's a lot to.
And sometimes a lot of the people who end up being bad parents, it's because they didn't even want to be parents.
In the first place.
It's better the person who says they don't want kids because they don't feel like they can care for them than this other person who is forced to. You're this age, you're 25, you're about to start rotting, your eggs are rotting. Then now you end up having the baby. Please no. But also on that point, it's okay to change your mind. If yesterday you said you didn't want kids, tomorrow you want kids, change your mind.
That's okay.
That's the beauty. That's one of the cornerstones of womanhood.
Right.
You get to choose. You get to choose what you want.
You get to change your mind.
Absolutely.
Everything.
So the choice is yours, and can we be a bit less judgmental? As we have heard from Kitt, it's not a type. It's not a type.
But
There's a question.
Let's close by saying the choice is yours as the parent. So when that child comes, you can't blame them. You are the one who decided to have those children.
Yeah.
So step up.
Yeah.
Step up and do the work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a question that was asked by 5 different people. What are the benefits of marriage? I found it very strange at first, but then I realized it's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
And we have to think about it.
Yeah?
Because as women,
No one is saying sex anytime I want.
that is not available, right? Well, isn't that available? I like how you
Regardless of whether you're married or
Isn't that
not.
available regardless of whether you're married or not?
It depends on your lifestyle before marriage and when you are married. Okay, so there are people, if you're the kind of person who like you are waiting for your husband, or you're not the kind of person to have sleepovers at people's houses, then it definitely would be a change because you have someone there. For me, I mean, some of the things that I was thinking is like companionship, but I guess you can have that without
marriage. You can buy a dog.
How dare she speak the truth?
So what are we the benefits? You guys are not
For me, one of the main benefits that I have is actually companionship, because there's no companion I have who is like my husband. He's the only one who is like that. And financial, I don't know what the word is, but it's doubled. Instead of one, I have access to 2. No, but by myself, financially secure, right? By himself as well. But together now we have access.
So I guess
Strength.
I am
Financial strength. Yeah.
Another thing.
And I was telling my husband as well, social standing. Because of how I am brought up and how, my personality and the way I am, what marriage brings is a different social standing. In church,
Actually, anyway, even in big corporates.
Yeah. So that kind of, you get.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's a benefit.
Because you're a married woman.
You
see more
responsible,
responsible,
more
put
you know,
together.
you can lead a country.
Now,
I can lead a country.
So
I can lead a country literally because I can lead a country. I can lead a county. Like I can run for office. Ugis. I can run for office in Katondo. You see, now I've expanded my territory.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hey, me, I would say intimacy also. I feel like there's intimacy of your boyfriend, girlfriend, and I feel like it's very different from intimacy of your husband, wife. When you're boyfriend, girlfriend, you can have a fight, or when you're at your worst or you're at your lowest, you can just be in your different houses. When you're married, there's nowhere else. There's nowhere else. They see you at your absolute best, they see you at your absolute worst, and like the way you and your husband know each other, if I guess it's a good marriage or it's a healthy marriage, is in a way that no one else will ever see you, no one else will ever know you, no one else will ever understand you. That's how I feel. And I just feel like, this person sees you literally naked all the time when you're not sucking in. Like, just the way.
They love you.
And they love you.
They tell you. Those are normally the best.
Exactly.
And then we don't like
this day. You just like stop. I just know you just leave.
So when you have diarrhea,
diarrhea, exactly.
When you're throwing up after a night out, okay.
Yeah, for me, it's actually companionship as well, and just the aspect of having a friend, and a friend you can do life with, and they'll be there, especially if you marry someone who you really love, and you have a lot of stuff in common with, and even if you don't, you complement each other a lot by the way when you don't. Just that companionship and your friendship for life. I think it's such a beautiful journey to have that person with you. And like the ladies have said, they see you at your worst, at your best, with wigs, without. Yeah. So
I wonder what
that
men would
is
say.
for me.
Man, I wonder what men would say.
I think they would say the same social standing. It has been proven actually in big corporates. You can barely ever get promoted if you don't have a family, because it's like, what's wrong?
By the way, I've heard that.
Yeah, it's like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you have a family?
But still, they can be big business owners without families.
Next
The most
question.
eligible budget.
The question is, all these things you mentioned, can you get them without being married? Because they're not necessarily benefits which are.
But I think it's a different
specific.
It's a different level.
Yeah,
It's a different level. No, especially when you have a point on social standing, it's not the same. It's definitely not the same. I think, it's different.
It's different.
It's different.
Do any of you seek mentorship from your husbands? Are they older? Are they younger? Is that something you see as a benefit to
Definitely.
marriage? Some form of mentorship?
Definitely. Me, I get a lot of mentorship. A lot. From my husband. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's something I really like. Yeah.
The stuff that you look up to,
Yeah.
and that you want to emulate. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's vice versa. And that's
Definitely.
the beauty of marriage. Imposter syndrome. It's not light. Yes. I've even spoken about it.
The conversation is changing.
You have sort of touched on it a little bit on your story.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about it.
For me, I think it cripples me. I can say my imposter syndrome cripples me because sometimes even just sitting here, I'm like, do I deserve to sit here at this table with Murugi and Kitt and Esme to, doing this? When you go for client meetings, some of the clients I have, I'm like, do I deserve this? Mostly what I think is, one day someone is going to find out I am a complete sham. I am a sham. I will be found out and I will lose it all.
She should have been at Budwa.
Yeah, she should have.
But hey, I caught feelings. I was like, it's okay, I'll find them. I'll find them on Wednesday. But yeah, so how I deal with it, I've really recently started practicing a lot of positive self-talk. Okay. A lot of, because I realized I talk to myself so badly. I'm like, Ivy, you can't talk to yourself like that. If you talk to yourself like that, what do you expect other people to talk to you like? So I practice a lot of positive self-talk. Imposter syndrome as a mom, like, do I deserve twins? You're a good mom, you're doing the best that you can. Imposter syndrome as a content creator. I go back and look at my 2.5 million views on TikTok, like, come on.
Yeah,
You deserve this. Yes, you deserve this, babe. You deserve this.
And it's always the videos you don't even think are going
Yeah, those are 1 minute.
That's
It blows up. I mean, there's a really, So I would just do positive self-talk, and I go back to my little successes and my little achievements, and I'm like, not bad. The fact I had a conversation with one of my very good friends, Julia's deep and depth. So you should invite her here one day. She told me today, write a letter to yourself, Ivy, because I was telling her, I feel like I'm losing my mind. She's like, Ivy, write a letter to yourself with all the little things you've achieved over the past month, and read it. And when I was done, I was like, I'm ready for this life.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
Thank you, Julia.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Can I have a pen and paper, please, guys?
Note that down.
Wow.
Murugi, do you have anything to say on that? I know Kitt has a lot.
Yeah.
And if you missed the boudoir event, please don't miss the next one. Is there a date yet?
It's in September. It's August, September, but we'll see.
It was a brilliant
Mom.
event.
I'm coming.
It was amazing. It was life changing. Actually, it was very life changing. It was.
You guys looked amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, please.
So I in this season of my life, I never suffer from imposter syndrome at all. Like in any part of my life, I think there was in the previous season, in my early 20s, it used to be me a lot, and that was like when I was working in corporate. I never felt fully qualified. I never felt like I was doing what I was meant to do. But when I moved into content creation, I knew instantly that this is where I'm meant to be.
This is where I am.
This is where I deserve to be here. This is where, and I think years of people affirming me and saying, wow, I love what you do. Years of seeing my kids grow to be amazing little people, of seeing my marriage flourish, of seeing, my achieving goals that I never thought I could achieve. I think that has built my confidence and my self-esteem. And now, sometimes like maybe I'm having a bad day and I'm just like, maybe I'm just not all that. And it's like, it's arrested in my mind even before the thought has fully been in it. Because with all the affirmations, all the things that I do to actually intentionally build my confidence and self-esteem, I never let it get there. But in my early 20s, there were times I would wake up, I can't even go to work because I'm like, no, I can't. I'm like, literally, no, today's the day they're going to find out that I'm not that awesome. I can't go. Now I just believe that I'm truly, truly awesome. So
I love that.
And I live it, yeah.
And it's finding the space that you're comfortable in.
Exactly. Comfortable, but also not so comfortable that now you're not growing. But like it's like challenges that you're willing to face head on. Yeah.
And imposter syndrome is so stupid, like when you think about it. Because it doesn't matter if you don't belong here. You are here.
You're here anyway.
And so?
And what can you make of this opportunity now that you're here?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever dealt with imposter syndrome because my name was Esmeralda. I don't look like anyone in particular. I don't. People are not sure where I'm from. The cops always stopping me and asking me, "Madam, where umetoka wapi?" Gina. And my standard response is "Mini Kenya." So I've always been the odd one out, I would say. People thought I had a wig in primary school. Faith and your sisters, thank you very much.
You're not tired of this wig?
I know. Like already parents thought I had a wig, but it's a wig today.
Very nice. I've been looking.
Monique, please, I've tagged her. So yeah, I mean, I've always been different, and my parents have always, again, words of affirmation. They've always encouraged us to do stuff, and I've learned that a lot, and that doing the same with our kids as well. Just to consistently affirm. You've taken up tennis, you're going to be Serena Williams. You've taken up piano, you're going to be the next Mozart. Like, and consistently doing that, and that has really helped me.
And you show them, because you mentioned 2 people. It's like you show them there's people who are doing this, what you want to do. Look how they're doing it.
These are the best. You aim for the best, you know. So yeah, I mean, and plus my name is Esmeralda, and I was born. I went to high school actually when the soap opera Esmeralda came out. So you can imagine me in Form 1. What's your name, Esmeralda? No. That was my disadvantage. That was my advantage, and it has been my advantage throughout. Do you have any closing comments on imposter syndrome, Kitt?
No.
Do men go through imposter syndrome?
Not likely.
And then men
you know that meme of go through life like a mediocre white man?
Yeah.
I belong here, I am fantastic. That is men.
Yeah.
A lot of times girls are told to be small, be less, be smaller, be less. So that's why women grew up that way, because it comes from girls, and boys will be boys, right? So they are like allowed to be in the world and to be. But us, we're kind of police. That's where it comes from. But men, a lot of the time, no, not a lot of.
And you know, I'll never forget a conversation I had once with Bikozulo, and I was asking him, why are there so few women on your page, on your article? It's mostly men.
Yes.
And you know what his response was?
What?
Men will do this much, but they will talk and tell the world about it. Women will do this much, and they will talk themselves down. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So please speak up about
Black tax.
yeah, it's ridiculous. So that's why I suppose the whole it's in us from.
And then be humble.
Be humble. Hey.
People like us,
I can't.
don't be too loud. You're too loud. Wow.
Yeah. I've been working with a coach, and she sometimes when I tell her some of the thoughts that I have about like fitness, nutrition stuff, and she tells me sometimes when you get a thought in your mind, ask yourself out loud, is this true? Your thoughts, like her, sometimes I have like when I'm on a diet and I'm nervous about food and I'm like nervous about eating, and I feel like if I take this one bite, it will make me fat. I'll be as fat as I was before. And she's like, ask yourself, is this true? Is this true? And it's not true. So please eat. Please relax. And that's actually something I have in all aspects of my life, because like I realized actually to help things between me and my husband, because sometimes he would like maybe he then open the bed for me on my side of the bed, and he entered bed, and I come to the room and I'm just like, my husband doesn't love me. Is this true? It's not true. You just concluded that in your mind, it's not true. And by the way, when you have imposter syndrome, ask yourself that when you tell yourself, I don't deserve to I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
That's true.
I love it. You'll be there in a meeting.
I love it.
Sorry, what was that? Oh, sorry. No, I'm here, fine, sorry.
Next question. Women are their own worst enemies.
Wow.
You're triggering kids, you're triggering
I know. There's a lady, one of you asked this question because you're doing it as part of your research project or something. So ladies, discuss and give her comments.
And let me tell you, this is a lie that we have been
fed
from little girls. Jane pushed me in the sandpit. Jane must be jealous of you. Excuse me, so women can only be jealous. We cannot be angry, bitter. Like we can only be jealous of each other. No, Jane is having a bad day and she pushed you. Or Jane is a bad child. Like it's not about jealousy. We're not competing. Women are not each other's worst enemy. When you are in trouble running in the street, you run for women. You run to women. Those times when women were being stripped in the streets, it is women who went to help them. Men were standing, taking pictures. It's not a competition of who or what or whatever, but it's just, that's such a big lie, and I don't know why we buy into it. If your boss is constantly putting you down, never gives you a raise, blah 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 blah. If she's a woman, you think it's women are each other's worst enemy. If she's a man, it's just a bad boss.
Wow, she's screaming. Kitt is screaming.
Okay,
I personally,
your mother-in-law ABCD
women
because women.
Yeah.
No, if it's your father-in-law, it's just a bad guy.
Thank you.
People are bad, others are good.
And it's just the way things are. I personally agree with the statement that women are our own worst enemies, but it's not all women. I feel like insecure women are women's, not worst enemies, but they are women's enemies. Because I feel like every time that you see it's like a woman, against another woman for no reason, it's an insecure woman. You get stopped in traffic and it's a police woman, and just because you're a woman, she'll be treating you badly. Because she's probably thinking, who are you to be? You think you're better than me because you're driving a car. If it's your boss, it's like she feels like, okay, so you think you're younger and cuter than me, so now you're going to, overtake me in the corporate ladder. If it's your mother-in-law, it's like, okay, so you married my son, I was here before you. It's always an insecure woman who is now the enemy of that woman because she didn't want her to win. But in general, for sure, men are our worst enemies.
And you know that thing, what Murugi is describing is a thing of what you call it, minorities. So nobody wants to be in this group because the other group is better. Why should we sit here and lie that the other group is not getting more privileges? So we do not want to be in this group. So you will put down the people in your group. That's why black on black crime exists in the States. It's a minority group. We all don't want to be here. And how dare you be better? How dare you try and get out of this group? That's why if you're light-skinned, you're put down. Because we're all struggling.
Come back here. How dare you?
So the same thing with women, because we're all struggling, the one that is struggling less is like, why are you struggling less?
Come back here.
I have a follow-up question to that. Do you have something to add there?
I think for me, my statement isn't necessarily women are women's worst enemies or men, blah blah blah. I think ignorance is our biggest enemy in general. Because once I'm all about learning. That's what I'm about. I learn and then I like to teach people. The other day on TikTok, again guys, I have learned so much on TikTok. I can get a certificate.
What is going on with the TikTok?
I can get a certificate. Guys, can I tell you what I learned on TikTok? That virginity is a concept that was created by a man who thought him having sex with a woman is so impactful that her body changes. I was like,
yes. I've heard that before.
Oh my God!
It's a policing word.
There's nothing like that.
There's
a
no
man
such thing.
Decided that because I've had sex with you for the first time,
and it will change your life.
No, but virginity is a concept. Breaking a hymen is physical.
It's physical.
Virginity is a concept.
And it's only used for all virgins. You only see women. When you hear the word virgin, you only see women in your brain. Women and girls. You never picture boys.
A man, is there a hymen when he...
You never picture boys. When I say there was 10 virgins, you never picture 10 men.
You don't.
Never.
I was just like, you. So me from me,
never. It's always women.
It's quiet. I'm never saying. Hey, TikTok.
Oh my God.
This Jay, the way I love you. You're doing the right thing. You're on the right track.
Babe, when you get to the side of TikTok where it's cool, you even take it. My God.
Wow.
Yeah, babe.
Yeah, where they're doing those things.
I had a follow-up question. I wanted, because our topic was womanhood. What then can we do to support fellow women? Like how can we make womanhood easier, more bearable, more tolerable on other women? We can share practical tips. And like one that I'll share is one that Kitt has taught me is being your fellow woman's ally, whether or not she knows. Being their ally. Start walking with them on the side of the road when you can tell that they are nervous or they are scared. Giving her a pad when you can see that she clearly is flustered in the bathroom but she doesn't have a pad. Like things which just show them that we are together. I understand your struggle. I'm here with you, or I'm here for you.
I love that.
Thank you. I love that.
How else? Other tips for supporting women?
I love that.
And I've shared this before. It's a scene from The Help. And this is where the nanny is telling the young girl the three things. And she says, you is kind, you is smart, you is important. And this is something I tell Bella all the time. Like you just begin with, you are kind, you are kind. And those three things mean a lot, even to us as adults. Just be kind. be kind. You're smart enough to know you're being foolish. And you're important and treat everyone else as important as well. I mean, it's just that simple.
Yeah.
Just be kind, be smart, and be important, and treat everyone else the same as well.
Yeah.
I think that would be my advice on womanhood in general. Just be kind. Just be kind, especially in this society of social media. Just be kind.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I also feel like I'm really intentional about buying from women-owned businesses. So like I feel like
always
I know
trying to buy from.
I know this man is supporting a whole village. I know. I know she's just Thank you.
Something Martin told me something that blew my mind. She's like, he told me, you know, the way I see all these women online supporting you, like they're so many more followers, bigger, you know, partnerships, and they keep tagging you and they're supporting you. I don't see men doing that. Men are constantly competing. Constantly. You're like, if I support him, see, he'll be better than me.
He'll pass me.
Women don't do that. That is
For me, it's picking different people for different seasons. Some will be with you throughout. I have a friend who I've been with since I was in standard 1, which is a great, I don't even know how many years. That's
way too
Faith, if you're watching, I love you. So yeah, for me it's that. It's as a friend. Sometimes some friendships have seasons, and you need to be aware of that season. And sometimes your gut feeling will just tell you, okay, here, this might not be this. I may need to quiet this down a bit. That's my take. Yeah.
That aspect of that feeling, that was going to be my number one point. Like you just always know. Just like the relationship, you always know, like when it's reached that point, when someone is not feeling you or when you're not feeling them, you just know. And you know at some point that you're forcing. The only difference is that with friendship, it's difficult because you're not like in an actual, like we have not agreed we're boyfriend, girlfriend, we're just friends. So now the breaking up part is like a bit challenging. It's a bit challenging. And I feel like there are two ways. There's either you can just go and have a conversation with them and just be like, you know, I don't feel like, you know, we're in the same place and maybe we'll just take some time. The other one, which is the one that I prefer, is just let
ghosting.
Yeah. Not really, it's not actually ghosting.
You don't have a ghost.
Yeah, you just realize you're speaking less and less. This month you only spoke once, next month you didn't speak, then the next time you spoke twice, and then it's like you just let it just go nicely. And I feel like with friendships, sometimes in this season you might not be, because depending on what it is you're going through, you might not be able to connect. Maybe in another season, maybe in a couple of years' time, you might find each other and be like, wow, let's be friends, kind of thing. So if it's not working, you just kind of, except if it's like really toxic, like it's affecting your life. If it's affecting your life, then it's important for you to actually put the boundary and be like, I can't hang out with you anymore because of this and this.
Yes. I think for me, two things. We use the word friends very loosely. Also, so I know I do.
Why are you shouting at people?
With your knife, with your knife.
Oh, why are you yelling? This is just a high tea.
Are we friends, Murugi? Can you call us friends or are we acquaintances and colleagues? Are we friends? Do you call me when you're having a bad day?
Okay guys, we need to end this live. I just found out my closest friend is not my friend. Okay, no, but I guess, do people have different definitions of what they call a friend?
Yes, it should be friend is Yani, Rafiki. When you're having a bad day, someone who is not like your husband is your friend as well. My mom is one of my best friends. Same to my brother, sister.
Literally, if you're in a pickle, your friend is coming for you.
Okay, so someone you can call in a moment of need is your friend.
I believe so.
Yes.
I believe so. I don't know how to define it clearly, but they know you, they can understand you. If you're hormonal, they'll be like, right now you're hormonal and it's fine. Sometimes I call my friends and it's two options. Do you want advice or do you just want to vent? And I want to vent today. And they're like sour. And I can be talking all the crap I'm talking, but they're listening. Because they've understood me.
And agreeing even.
I even have a friend right now where we have a safe word. We have a safe word. If we are starting to talk and we're getting on each other's nerves, it's mango. Okay, mango means we calm down, we step away so that we don't fight. Friendships have this.
In a safe word.
Yeah. So that you don't personal with friends. Yeah.
Sometimes it gets intense.
But then a friend, if you feel a friend is constantly putting you in a bad situation, every time you're there to solve the bad situation, and then that's not really a friend.
Is that a friend? Like me, I've found how I've known it's time to end a friendship is like when you're together,
always in a bad mood.
Or when you're together, it feels okay, but when you leave, you kind of feel like,
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, it's like, do I really, was that really a compliment?
Oh dear.
Insulted.
Oh my God, yeah.
Why do I feel bad about the thing that she said? But she didn't say anything bad, but it's like, I feel bad.
And you feel that way, but you can't tell them.
But you can't tell them because you can't say
feeling
this
you.
thing. You see, it's like
You
it's
can't put
very,
your finger on it.
you can't put your finger on it, and it's just like you can just. It's like this passive aggression kind of thing, or like some like. I mean, yeah, but I just feel like there's a level of support that a friend should offer, which is goes beyond. This is like my own personal feeling. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
My little kid is an international sleep trainer.
Please.
I saw you training people in Rwanda. Well done. Well done.
And I only posted it because it was a group, but I train people from all over the world.
Brilliant. Brilliant. As we say. So, the next question.
I'm not humble.
How do you find your rooting? How did you find your rooting as a young woman? Is that something that's also a journey, or what's the formula? Your identity. How do you find that in your journey as a woman? How did you find it? Have you found it? And how did you find it?
The question is, have you found it?
Even our mothers, have they found it?
Especially your mothers, actually. Okay.
Because I feel like it's just an ever evolving. You know, you don't know what you don't know. You're not aware of the things you are not yet aware of.
Come on, girl.
So I mean, where you are, just in terms of comfort of where you are, is different from like I have found it. I have found my purpose. I don't feel like.
And it's okay for people to root you. It's okay. You don't have to find your rooting. I think maybe we're also putting on a pedestal that thing of, oh, I have found myself, I was here and I just came upon myself, you know, and now I know myself. I think it's not a destination, and it's a journey that we are on and we continue to be on.
I think it's very dangerous to put yourself in a box. I think it's very, very dangerous. Because once that is shaken, you are lost. And I mean, that happened to me, thanks to COVID. It happened to me, and I was lost for a very long time. And so it's dangerous. And I like what you say, it's a journey. I wish I had known that. I wish I did not put myself in a box. Because it can be really, really dangerous. I mean, of course, there's stuff that you need to have a strong foundation of, whether that's religion or whatever you want to have as your beliefs and values. I think that's something that everybody should have. What are your values? What are your beliefs? And of course, choose your networks and your friends around that, whether it's in business or whether it's your personal life. But don't box yourself into, this is who I am. Don't do that.
There's no such thing, that's unlucky.
Yeah, don't do it.
Everybody is constantly changing.
Yeah, because then when it comes time for you to evolve, you'll be like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? Yeah.
That's so true. And I guess those values need to be things which cannot be shaken by things like COVID.
Yes, exactly.
Things which
When it's
are-
a pandemic, don't make it
I mean, a pandemic is a pandemic.
It's a pandemic, but you know.
Is it possible to be vulnerable and strong?
Yes. But they mean different things. But it's possible.
What does vulnerability mean to you, Kitt?
Can I just say the food is so good, you guys.
I wanted to say that. Maybe.
Hey, the salmon
thing
croquette
is
just
with this
It's slapping.
Is this deal in here?
Yes, it's still.
I'm so
Sorry.
sophisticated. You're a big
You're very
deal. I belong on this table.
You know about deal.
Hey.
So vulnerable is exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed.
Yeah.
Either physically or emotionally. So you open yourself up to the point where like you could be harmed. That's vulnerability.
Which is us in life every day.
Which is life. Which is life.
Don't be vulnerable to people who you do not have a trust, loyalty relationship. In your marriage, being vulnerable to your partner helps you have a strong marriage.
That's true,
Because
yeah.
you're open with each other, you know each other's weaknesses, so you know where to plug in to help them where your strengths are. But I mean, in other like now, don't go on Instagram. People who don't know you, who are not going to come to your house, drive to your house in the middle of the night to support you.
To save you.
Exactly. Don't be vulnerable. So be vulnerable where it matters. With my relationship with my sisters, I can be vulnerable.
Yeah.
With my friends when I need their support,
Yeah.
you know, with my husband, but not just with anyone.
Okay.
I think as a woman, and I'm speaking speaking as someone who feels is a strong woman, who has been defined by society as a strong woman, there is a lot of strength in vulnerability, as she said. Before, I'm the type of person where if I'm facing problems, I find solutions and move. I don't allow myself time to feel.
People would say you're like a man. People would really refer to you as
like a man. Like a man.
You're not crying about it like other women.
And I never used to until I realized the lack of vulnerability was hurting me more than it was helping me. You need to be vulnerable sometimes to become a stronger person.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of strength in vulnerability.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting how like you can all be women, but you have very different approaches. Me, I'm the kind of I really like to sometimes just sit in the problem and cry.
Yeah.
Like I just want to just tell my husband.
That is my method.
Yeah.
That is my process.
And I don't start saying, oh, have you tried this? I'm like, I've not come to you for solutions. I just want you to be like, what? What happened?
I want you to be our friend.
I'm so sorry. Wow. Just so sorry. You know, I want you to feel the pain of the thing happening. And then
what
now
I want to be now.
Yeah. And then now me, I want to be now where you are.
No, it's not. It's not fun. You put on a wall and then it will crumble.
Yeah.
I want to be like you. Cry, finish, move. Not move. And then you have baggage. So you're just dragging it along.
And then the second you have one thing, wow, Ivy's crying. What?
And then
one
thing, you're finished.
Yeah,
That's me now.
I know.
So, question that one of you has asked, there's an overbearing mother-in-law, one of you has an overbearing mother-in-law who wants you to slave in the kitchen 24/7. How do you deal with that?
And if you don't, will she divorce you?
Yeah.
Shots
This
fired.
thing, by the way,
Shots fired.
What will she do?
Yep. The person who wrote this comment, please just clarify. Do you live with her?
and is it in your own house or in a
Yeah.
place or
Just
whatever?
clarify so that we know. Tell me you keep an eye
And
on
what is slaving? Because me
Yeah.
going to the kitchen on any day, slave ship
Where
for me.
will your
But you see, like this one, the person is seeing them in the kitchen. Me, if you see me in the kitchen, just know I'm suffering. Suffering.
Honestly, me and I got married. My husband's like his cousin's in-laws. Every time we would go to Charles, they are there. They are there in their skirt and Kimbo t-shirt, and they are cramming the firewood in there. John has come in her jeans. And by the way, I've never gone to the kitchen to cook anything at my husband's place. And it's not like, in fact, I would even tell him before we go, please don't have these expectations of me because I'm not that person. Honestly, I'm not that person. I'm not going to embarrass myself there burning people's food. Honestly, I'm not going to. I don't think I know the quantity of water and what to put in you guys' food. I just don't know it. I just don't know it. And it's not bad. By the way, the first time I went, my husband's mom asked me, she's like, oh, you're not going to the kitchen? I'm like, no. I asked, do they need help? I had not asked. But I was like, yeah, I mean, and they seem fine. I mean, they're already 6 of them in the kitchen. Why do we need all available hands? Yeah. And now, like, I can help even in the serving, like just putting the plates and whatever. But going to the kitchen, no. And it's okay. You know, you're a person.
Esme,
Yes.
there is something that we call looking good, avoiding looking bad, which all human beings suffer from.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter what anybody is doing, they are either trying to look good or avoid looking bad. So this babe who has asked this question is avoiding looking bad and also trying to look good. Sometimes you just have to be okay with looking bad, sit down, and don't slave in the kitchen because your mother-in-law expects you to. It's okay to look bad and you take care of who? Number one self. Because otherwise you can just be out here looking good. And by the way, you don't look good.
Oh, have you looked at me?
I'm sorry.
When you're slaving, you don't look good.
No,
you
you
look
don't.
good. You don't look good.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, last question. About building your brands and your legacies.
Wow.
Okay, I would translate the question to be, how do you begin the process? Where are you at? Have you thought about your legacy? And what legacy do you want to leave behind? Those are very different questions. You can pick whichever you want to answer.
It's big. It's a big question. And are they talking about money?
They've not specified money.
Okay.
But that's part of the brand.
Yeah, there's a girlfriend I was talking to, and I was saying how I pray for my children's grandchildren's children. So I pray for 4 generations. And she's like, and I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm looking. Because me, I'm just going to die just now. Like, how many years do I have, right? At the very, like, if I live the longest life in life, I have 65 years to 100. And that I've lived the longest life, right? I'll be dead. But my kids, like, that's who I'm trying to build. All this, what I'm doing is for them. My kids. Because that's the kind of, I want people to be like, I'm here because of Shosho Kitt. The reason I speak the way I am is because, let me tell you about my great-great-grandmother.
Wow.
Kitt. Oh yeah, I've heard of her. Oh yes. Like that. Kitt dancing in the grave, like that. Like that, yeah. So even if it's like a money thing, I mean, that one is, you can build it, but like a legacy, you want to leave people with that feeling of you are here, and this is what you left people with. This is the impact you left people with. Because money will isha, and it will change value. Everything else everything is fleeting, but like who you are, that one you can stand behind even when you're dead, you know? Yeah.
For me, I feel like one thing social media has taught me is that my legacy is me. Like me as a person, because I realized that being able to reach so many people with one post, and so many people with the content that we create as content creators, the content we create.
It's okay.
The content we create as content creators, so many different people interpret them differently depending on what they're going through in life. So somebody messages me and tells me, oh my god, I saw your post last year about this and it inspired me to work out and eat well, and now I'm at my goal weight. I'll never forget you because you helped me get this goal. So to her, my legacy will always be, she's this lady who inspired me to work out. To someone else, it's somebody who says, oh my god, I'm a single mom and I never thought it was possible for me to find a good man and get married, you know, but now I saw it was possible and I started reaching for the stars and now I've met this man and now, so for depending me who I am and how I live my life is my legacy. The fact that so many people get to watch me living my life, I love that, because then my legacy is being spread in tiny little bits everywhere around the world, in tiny little bits, depending on what is that is useful for you. For you, makeup is the useful thing, that's what you've gotten. For someone else, it's weight loss. For someone else, it's marriage. For someone else, it's parenting. And whatever those little nuggets are, just by the way that I live my life and the way that I create the content that I create, that's my legacy created.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you have impacted me, by the way. Not on weight loss, clearly.
What are you saying?
But you have on loving. I love how you love yourself at whatever part of the journey you're at.
Where you are.
And you are the one who inspired me to get a two-piece. Two-piece. Yeah, no. For Mombasa only, yeah? Well, many people don't know me. But I posted a picture. And I mean, that's it. About loving yourself at whatever stage you're in. And I love that.
I'll speak in terms of, because I'm new-ish to this content creation thing as Ivy, and I realized,
I don't understand that statement.
Even me, I'm a bit confused because if you're Jewish, it makes me
as just Ivy. You remember, I came from over 25, so I already built a brand as Ivy from over 25.
Was it my quad to Kikujua?
Yeah, known as Ivy were over 25. So you see, all 4 of us are actually on a journey to. It's good to be associated with over 25, but who is Ivy? That's why it's just Ivy. Ivy has no logo. The just is slanted like this. That's my quirky side, and then the Ivy is straight and very serious. And when I was building this brand, I knew coming out it needed to be a positive brand, uplifting, and a learning brand as well. So I came up with brand pillars, the things that I would love to talk about, exactly, that would gel with me. Because over 25 was not my space. I have to create my own space. So I came up with my own brand pillars. So I have women empowerment, becoming my own husband. I have family, I have kids, and I like talking about family and blah, blah, blah. I have finance, because no one was talking about it, and I don't like being broke.
Exactly.
And then I have travel. So So I came up with brand pillars, and then now my content is built around those pillars, which is now makes Just Ivy a brand. Yeah.
I love it.
That's it.
And I relate to that as well, because for me, for a very long time, and people still call me Spez, which is fine. But yeah, Spez all the time. And it's now trying to pull away in a way and find, okay, who is Esmeralda? Yeah, who is Esmeralda? In fact, I might just pull Mommy and change my handle very soon to Esmeralda, because now it's a journey, and I'm 35, not middle-aged.
Well,
I am 35 and finding myself again, and about to embark on a journey where I need to find myself even more. So yeah, I think it's a journey, and just be intentional. I like about the pillars that you've created here, and being intentional about just you, and you don't know how that works. Yeah, so that's me.
Oh my gosh, that was the best live, guys. And we have eaten every single, like, I can't. We really enjoyed talking to all of you guys. Thank you for all of your questions. Of course, if you have more questions, in the comment section below, don't forget to subscribe and like. Bye.